Welcome, this is Darkwing Glacier, and this is a World of Warships video of a ranked battle that I played in my Tier 8 American battleship, the North Carolina. Now, this ranked season, like most ranked seasons for me anyway, tend to have lots of ups and downs, and I had played most of the season in my Charles Martel. Then when I ran out of success in that ship, I switched to the Edinburgh, and I played a couple of games in my Benson, and I really wasn't getting anywhere. So at this point, I decided to try my battleship. I tended to do pretty well, at least in the lower ranks of the game, in my Charles Martel, because it's a cruiser that's fast, it's very good at kiting. It doesn't have radar, which is the big disadvantage, because the team that gets a lot of extra radar and or hydras using low yangs tend to get lots of advantages in these games. The Charles Martel was causing, in effect, a disadvantage to my team because I was taking up a cruiser slot that could be filled on the other team by a radar cruiser. So I came to the conclusion that even though I enjoyed playing that ship and I thought I did pretty well with it, I was in effect hurting my team because I was preventing our team from getting a radar cruiser to ensure parity against the opponent. So in switching to a North Carolina, I'm using a decent ship that is very good at bow tanking. It has long range guns that are good guns, and I could do my share with this ship probably better than I was doing with my Martel. So far I've had a fair amount of success with this ship, so the strategy appears to be working. So at this point in this game, I'm attempting to defend or support my destroyers by coming up behind them, trying to get a line of sight on anyone they may engage. And in the meantime, since the battleships have been detected, I'm attempting to get some pot shots off against them. So I get a shot against the Bismarck and I do almost 10,000 points of damage, which is a good start. Still, they're the only two ships in the other enemy team that are protected. I get some more shots off. And we're in good shape at this point. We have A, we're about to get B. There isn't any sign of the enemy destroyers, although clearly there is one in the sea cap. Now, our Tago is relatively exposed because he's all alone. The Chirpits can't support him all that well since he's about to go behind an island. So we're telling in chat for our Tago to bail. Of course, some of the players are calling him an idiot, which I don't think he is quite that, because he does take our advice, he does turn and he gets out of there, and he does so in a way that puts an island between him and the enemy battleships, which is actually a good move. I probably, if I was the cruiser, would have turned the other direction, which would have left me in the line of sight of the battleship, so he made a smart decision. So here I am targeting the Amagi. I take a shot off against him. We've now spotted another enemy DD and the Chapayev, so it's becoming clear where everybody is. And if we can hold on to the A and the B cap, then we've got this battle in our pockets. And we appear to be in good shape because the Bismarck, he's turning away from the sea cap. The Chapayev is also at least running broadside to sea, and he's moving away from the rest of the battle. The Amagi is not turning away. He is going away. So as long as we can keep them running, you know, we've got this made. So we shot a bunch of torpedoes at this Kiev. We're trying to get rid of him. Lots of torpedoes out there, but he looks like he's going to evade most of them. I'm just sitting stationary, looking for targets, trying to help my team wherever I can. I apologize for the shift press to enter binocular. That seems to be a flaw in the replay system right now. Wargaming hasn't seen fit to fix it. I think there is some fixes in there, but I've yet to discover what they are. So, switching to a free camera view, I'm still just, parked, waiting for targets of opportunity. My flanks are covered. The Atago is going to protect me from any DDs coming that direction. I take another shot at the Amagi, despite the Benson being closer, because I feel I have a much better shot shooting against him. I follow my shots in the Amagi. I get 5,600 points of damage there. We lose our Kagero, but they lose their Benson, which I think is a fair trade, because I think the Benson is probably worth more than a Kagero in games like this. Still targeting, looking for targets. Our kid has taken a lot of damage, which is not good news. And we're out of targets, and we're waiting. Our Loyang is somewhat exposed, so our team is calling him to get back here. We need his Hydro. The rest of the team is still, the enemy team is still hiding. Our points lead is slowly increasing, which is always good news. Battle of my Bulge on our team is telling them to hold back, let them push into us, which is also good advice. Looks like their kid is coming this way. The Chapayev and Amagi are both behind islands, so I can't target them, so I gotta go after the kid, who's charging right into the cap where we have 3 DDs that can fire on him. My shell comes in and he gets killed by our Benson just as my shell lands, so even if he didn't kill him, I probably would have. So that's more than willing to take one of their DDs. Our kid is in trouble. Our Benson is in trouble, and there is another one of their DDs who's also low, but we lose our kid. That's bad news. There's E23. He's in there. He's close. Our Benson should be able to take him out, but it's going to be tight. I fire some shells at the Bismarck, but I don't know that they're going to hit, but fortunately we killed the Z-23. The bad news is that we lost our Benson too. Each team is down now 3 destroyers. I see the Chapayev and I'm wishing my guns would load faster because he was showing a lot of broadside there. Now he's starting to angle away. I take some shots on him, but he's almost completely stern on now. It's unlikely I'm going to do much damage to him. I start pushing forward a bit to get myself in a better position to support my team. So looking for targets, I see the Bismarck. He's starting to turn in towards the cap. I still have most of my health left, which is good news. Our Atago and our Turpits are doing okay on that flank. They've got a nearly full health Amagi to deal with, however. The Chapayev is coming in. He's about half health. The Bismarck starts shooting at me. The problem is that we're nearly head-on to each other, the Bismarck and myself. The Bismarck looks like he's going to push into the AB cap, and there's not much I can do to stop him. Unfortunately, our Loyang is now exposing himself, which is really bad news. The Chapayev is right there, so is the Bismarck. The Bismarck secondaries are going to open up on him. The Chapayev is right there, and our Loyang is in deep trouble. If he tries to smoke up, the Chapayev will use his radar and finish him off. The Bismarck secondaries are just probably pounding into him right now. The Bismarck has now entered the A cap. I shoot the Chapayev trying to get some pressure off our Loyang, but it's not enough, it's not going to help, and we're going to lose our Loyang. And that's bad news. He's our last destroyer. And there he goes. On the right flank, the Atago and the Turpits are fighting the Amagi. They've taken him down to half health, but our Turpits is even less than half health. Our Atago's doing okay. I fire again against the Bismarck, and I start backing off because I know if I try to engage him in brawling, he's going to tear me to shreds. Those secondaries of his are going to just annihilate me. Good news on the right flank, because the Atago and the Turpits have succeeded in taking out the Amagi. Problem is, they have the A cap now. They're pushing into the B cap. The good news is that the Chapayev and the Kiev are both low on health. We still have our Turpits, we still have our Atago, who appears to have run aground. Hopefully they can take the C cap. I take another shot at the Bismarck and do 2,000 points of damage. And there goes our Tirpitz, finally killed by fire. That is bad news. The Atago, though, still has a fair amount of health. He can probably take on the Chapayev and the Kiev by himself, since they're relatively low health, as long as he's careful. Now, here I am, facing head-to-head against this Bismarck. I switch to HEs, maybe I can set him on fire. But again, I've got 56k, he's got 43k of health left. If we get into a brawl, his secondaries are just going to chew me up. But my team is telling me that I've got to get in there and take on that Bismarck. This is not something I'm looking forward to doing. We're just bow tanking against each other, and whereas I can do that all day from long range, and I have more guns to the front and better accuracy, he is essentially the tougher ship. And he is the brawler, I'm not. On the right flank, the Atago is trying to take C. The Kiev and the Chapayev are both relatively low health. The Atago should be able to handle this, or at least to kill one of them, which would put us in a good position. We are up in points, but we are losing caps. I continue closing in on the Bismarck. Really getting nervous about this. My teammates are telling me that I should ram the Bismarck, which I don't think is a good idea at this point, because if I trade, then it's just up to the Atago. I take a shot with my rear turret at the Kiev, hoping to get a lucky shot on him. The Bismarck starts turning away because he doesn't want me to ram him. They're telling me again I need to ram the Bismarck. I don't like that idea, so I'm not going to do it. I fire 2 shots into his belt armor. I did 18,000 points of damage, which is good news. We're now engaged in a close fight. His secondaries are hurting me bad, causing fires. I take another shot on him, which causes a significant amount of damage. One thing I noticed, he is using HE on me. If he was using AP, he would be causing severe damage, and maybe cause a lot more damage than I've been taking. I finally get another broadside off, and I kill him. I feel very lucky to have survived that one. The fire's almost out. And as soon as I go see what's on the other side, we lost our Atago. He didn't manage to kill either the Chapayev or the Kiev. And the Chapayev turns on his radar, he sees me, the shells are going to come any second, and there they are, he's firing on me. I can't see him back. Now we have the V cap, they have A and C, although I'm capturing A now, but I cannot see any targets. So my team is telling me to back up, which I've already figured out on my own. I gotta get the A and the B cap to maintain our lead, which is 20 points at this point. There's still almost 7 minutes left in the game. I feel like I'm just gonna be sitting here and they're just gonna farm me all day long. The only thing that's good is that I still have a decent amount of health. Fortunately, a lot of that was due to the Bismarck using HE and not AP. If he did, I'd probably be down maybe another 10,000 points, and then I'd really be worried. But right now, they're probably trying to figure out a way for their Kiev to spot me, so the Chapayev can just farm me with HE, try to burn me down. In 20 seconds, I'll get my another repaired, and I'll get up to more than 50% of my damage, so that's good. And I am detected. Must be the Kiev. Yep, there he is. I start swinging my guns around. He's only at 417 health. One hit will kill him. Get my shots off. Unfortunately, the Kiev turns, and all my shots go wide. The Chapayev is still trying to shoot at me. And he's still causing hits. Not much damage, but they still have more than 5 minutes, and there's plenty of time for them to kill me. But then, one of my teammates comes up with an idea. He tells me to go to the island. Now, I'm not sure which island he's talking about, so I start designating it. Do you mean this one? No, he's like, no, bow to the left, so I'm like, that one. and I realize that this is a good plan. If I go to that island, get close enough to it, the Chapayev is not going to be able to arc his shells over the island and hit me. See, the Kiev is currently spotting me, the Chapayev is shooting at me. I gotta put a stop to that. I fire some blind shots at the Chapayev, hoping to get lucky, but I don't know where he is. They're almost certain to miss, and they do. The Chapayev fires again. Our points lead is increasing. Still more than 4 minutes left to go. So I start closing on the island. I'm accelerating past 20 knots. They're still firing on me. I'm on fire, losing another 1,000 points of hit points. 10 seconds till I can repair again. Okay, things seem to be in relatively good shape at this point. Closing in on the island. My team is kind of divided between those who are really worried and those who think that things are well in hand. My teammate tells me to turn my stern gun to the right, which I planned on doing anyway, so in case someone comes at me from this gap, or if someone comes at me from the front. Now the Chapayev cannot get a bead on me unless they close the distance. The Kiev can spot me all he wants, but if the Chapayev does not have a clean shot, then I'm okay. There's the Kiev again. I swing my guns around. Torpedoes are inbound. I can't take a torpedo hit at this point, and I am very lucky that I stopped when I did. The torpedo passes in front of me. Unfortunately, I missed the Kiev. I'm still detected by him, so he's out of his smoke, but beyond detection range. We're at 950 points. One of my teammates is excited that he's going to hit rank 1, but it's not over yet. That Chapayev could be closing the distance hard. The Kiev is already opening up on me. He sets me on fire again. We're at 968 points, 970. The Chapayev could come around this corner at any minute. I realize this and I decide that I probably should start going forward again. The Kiev is still farming me. I'm not detected, so the Kiev is just firing blind where he thinks I am. We're at 992 points, and it looks like we're gonna make it. Time runs out, and we win.